And if so, how likely it is that we're to see that fight happen again this year?
I'm not sure, bro. I'm definitely not sure, but hopefully we could get it before. Nah, it probably won't be this year.
Is that the one you want next?
It's definitely the one I want next, but it's not gonna be next.
What is?
You might.
We will never see that fight happen again. It just will not happen. Gervonta TankDavis doesn't like hard fights. It's that simple. We've seen it over and over. He fought a Ryan Garcia drained. He fought a very inexperienced Rolly Romero. He will not fight Devin Haney. He will not fight Shakur. He will not fight Pitbull Cruz again. He will not fight Lamont Roach again. He will not fight Tefimo. He will not fight Inao. He will not fight.
Tank has spent his entire career facing accusations that he avoids the toughest opponents. Critics have frequently pointed out how he never fought Vasily Lomachenko when the Ukrainian was at his peak, how he sidestepped Devin Haney, and how he didn't seem eager to take on Shakur Stevenson. Now, after the most controversial fight of his career, fans are once again making the same claims, this time regarding Lamont Roach Jr.
First contract is signed for an immediate rematch in the case of a draw or if I win. So I'm already contractually signed to a rematch. It's on him. I hope we can get it done because I want to show the world again that that wasn't a fluke.
For years, no one had truly come close to dethroning Tank. Every opponent he faced either got knocked out or dominated. But on the night he fought Lamont Roach Jr., something different happened.
If you look at the whole fight, he was never bothering his eyes before
you jabbed him.
Before I jabbed him. Even that right hand that, like, you know what I'm saying, that kind of landed, he kind of rolled with it. But after that, you could see him wipe his eye. And then, right after I hit him with the jab, you could see him wipe his other eye. So it's like it was corresponding to which hand that I punched him with and exactly which eye. So it's like crazy for him to see.
Roach didn't just survive. He made it a real fight. He went blow for blow, hurt Tank, and most importantly, walked out of the ring, believing he had done enough to win. The judges didn't agree, scoring it a majority draw, but the boxing world was divided. Many believed Roach had exposed Tank in a way no one else ever had. The moment the fight ended, the call for a rematch was everywhere.
Do you think the best thing going forward, they should just run it back, have a rematch?
Oh, yes, most definitely. I think a rematch is definitely called for. And I think probably, the sooner the better. So I would say, hey, let's work on a deal to where we could get in there within the next 4 to 5 months.
Yeah, I agree there.
Right. After the fight, Davis started dropping hints that a rematch wouldn't be happening anytime soon. His first words in the post-fight interview were vague. When asked if he would run it back, he dodged the question and instead talked about how Roach wasn't as tough as people thought. Weeks later, when the pressure for the rematch started to heat up, he took to social media saying, "We'll see what happens, but right now I got other things to handle." That was enough for many to believe he was looking for an escape route.
Fans might not even want him to run it back because they might fear that he could lose again or he could draw again.
Yeah.
Tank might go find some other little dude to pull up and then they're going to act like, oh, yeah, it's business, it's business. It's like, no, it's not business, bro. He's picking and choosing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know what's next, but my thing is this. I feel like if he don't fight Lamont Roach, he going to look crazy.
Now, Tank has finally admitted it. Not only is he not rushing to fight Roach again, but he has already set his sights on another fight. When asked about the rematch, his answer was clear. "It will happen, but right now I'm focused on another thing." That was all it took for fans to go into a frenzy. This is exactly what people were expecting. Many had been saying from the moment the
It probably won't be this year.
Is that the one you want next?
It's definitely the one I want next, but it's not gonna be next. You might say it.
Now, with his latest admission, the criticism is only growing louder. Once again, people are calling him a fighter who picks his opponents carefully, someone who doesn't want to face real threats back-to-back. If Roach was able to take Tank to a draw, what happens in a second fight when Roach comes back even better? That's the question fans are asking. And Tank's refusal to commit to the rematch is only adding fuel to the fire. Roach, on the other hand, has been relentless. He has made it clear that he wants the rematch immediately and has called Tank out on multiple occasions. However, Tank's camp believes differently.
It overturned, and what'd you think when they upheld it?
I thought they were, upheld it. He didn't break the rules. A lot of people seen him take a knee and thought he broke a rule, but hey, they did the right thing.
His team even went as far as saying that Davis and his camp are scared of what might happen in a second fight. That statement alone has only made the situation worse for Tank, because whether it's true or not, it's something that a lot of people actually believe. Tank has never been in a position where the public was this uncertain about him. He has always been the dominant force, the knockout artist who left no doubt about his victories. But for the first time in his career, fans are questioning him. For the first time, there's a real debate about whether he's as unbeatable as people once thought.
Donato, but I'm disappointed when I hear him say that we won't be able to see the rematch in 2025 and we're still in the first quarter, right? So that's kind of disappointing, right? So that lets you know the anticipation that people have.
Of course, Tank's fans argue that he has the right to move on if he wants to. They say that he is the star, the superstar, and doesn't owe Roach anything. If Roach really wants the fight, he can wait. That's how boxing works. The biggest names call the shots, and Tank is one of the biggest names in the sport. But even some of his own fans are starting to get frustrated. They want to see him in fights that prove he is the best. They don't want to hear excuses or delays. They want to see him settle unfinished business.
How long we take? It's up to the A side and when they want to fight. So I'm thinking it's gonna be soon. I'm hoping it's gonna be soon. Let's say that. What is soon to you? When you say soon to me, I'm thinking a month.
I'm thinking July.
I'm thinking July for sure.
Roach stepped into the ring as the underdog, but
The more Tank talks about his other plans, the more people will assume he's ducking Roach. It doesn't help that he still hasn't named the other thing he's focused on. If it's another big fight, why not announce it? Why keep it a secret? That's what has people suspicious. If it's a fight against another top name, then maybe he has a point. But if it's just another handpicked opponent, the criticism will only get worse. Fans have been waiting for years to see him take on the best. Now, when he finally has a real challenger right in front of him, he seems to be backing away.
Jonas shed some light on the negotiations for the rematch. While he didn't give too many details, Jonas did say that the second bout between Davis and Roach Jr. is all but finalized. Let's hear what he got to say right now.
Important question on everyone's mind: how close is the rematch? How big will it be? How close is it to getting done?
Very close. It's in my mind, it's a done deal, but there are formalities, but it's a done deal, and it's not far off.
However, even if Tank might have the final say on whether the rematch with Lamont Roach Jr. happens, not everyone in boxing is eager to see it take place just yet. TankDavis has made it clear that he has other plans, and those plans don't include watching Tank step into the ring with Roach again anytime soon. Why? Because Keesan sees something bigger for himself, and he's not afraid to make it known. Fresh off his dominant win over Dennis Barrick, Keesan is holding on to the WBO lightweight title and looking ahead at the biggest names in the division. But his vision isn't just about chasing belts, it's about controlling the narrative. And that's exactly why he's now talking about facing Lamont Roach Jr. himself. This isn't just about making a big fight. This is about positioning him.
I think that just gives him more motivation to go out there, do the rematch, and as well, the people want to see it. You know, that kind of gives it the controversial, look into it. It makes it more intriguing to everybody and want to watch the second fight.
All right, what happens in the second fight? Same fight, or what do you think?
No, I think Lamont's going to push more, but I think that even gives Tank a little bit more openings to maybe even finish the job better. But it goes to show you, hey, the hunger needs to be there. And I think Tank probably needed this too to...
The timing couldn't be better either. The controversy surrounding the first Davis-Roach fight has left a bitter taste in the mouths of fans, and many still believe Roach deserved to win outright. A fight between Roach and TankDavis would do two things. Give Roach another massive opportunity, and more importantly, allow Kason to make a statement before Tank even gets the chance.
Hottest fight in the weight division. Yeah. Lamont Roach stood right there with Gervonta, the hardest puncher in the division, right? Ooh. So put him up against me. I'm not going nowhere.
Y'all really gonna box, man.
We're gonna fight. I feel like stylistically, that's one of the best matchups in the division for sure.
It's gonna be a lot of rolling in that fight.
You know, I
Kason's interest in fighting Roach is more than just words. During an interview on the Danza Project, he made it clear that he sees their matchup as the most exciting fight in the division. Me and Lamont Roach, stylistically, is the hottest fight in the weight division for sure, he said, giving Roach credit for the performance that won him so much respect. But respect doesn't mean hesitation. Kason is ready, and if he gets his way, he'll fight Roach before Tank ever steps back into the ring with him. This throws an entirely new twist into the conversation about the rematch. If Roach and Kason fight before Tank does, what does that mean for the rematch?
The thing is, he's still a pound-for-pound fighter.
Yeah. What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night, or?
Everybody has an off night. Everybody has an off night.
If Roach wins, the rematch becomes even bigger. But now Kason has inserted himself as a major player, and Tank has to deal with both of them. Either way, this isn't just about one fight anymore. It's about how the entire division shakes out. Eddie Hearn has already made it clear that if the rematch does happen, it's going to be a bigger event than the first fight. Now Davis has got a rematch that's actually much bigger than the first fight, Hearn said during a March 27th interview with Fight Hub TV. But does that mean it's actually happening? Nothing is signed yet, and the longer Tank stays quiet, the more suspicious people get. Hearn added, I think he'll be more switched on for this, maybe, but Roach is a good fighter. It won't be easy. That's the part that keeps getting overlooked.
The fight. I mean, he should have had a point deducted. There's no doubt about that. But two, people criticised the Roach fight. I knew it would be a good fight because we know Roach is a good fighter, but people in boxing know that Roach is a good fighter. Now it's giving him another fight. Because if he would have beaten Roach, he's kind of backed in a corner to fight Shakur Stevenson, I think. But now he's got a rematch that's actually much bigger than the first fight. So yeah, I think he'll be more switched on for this maybe, but Roach is a good fighter. It won't be easy.
The controversy surrounding that first fight isn't going away anytime soon. The moment Tank delivered that illegal knee to Roach, everything changed. That moment should have cost him the fight. If the referee had made the correct call, Tank would have taken his first official loss as a pro. Instead, he got away with it, and the fight was scored a draw. The backlash was immediate. Fans called it a robbery. Analysts pointed out how Tank should have been disqualified, and even Roach's team knew they had been cheated out of what should have been a career-defining win. The fact that Tank wasn't punished for the knee, nor for the self-imposed...
Like the bigger picture, he just wasn't focused for real. He, doing a lot of arguing in the ring and just a lot of stuff that wasn't like, he wasn't just focused. He wasn't all the way locked in the ring. You heard him say something like, it's a lot of things going on outside the ring that he was leading up to the fight, and shit, that's natural, you know what I'm saying? It's normal. Shit, I was going through the same thing with this last fight, right. So.
Bob Arum didn't hold back when giving his thoughts on the rematch, and for someone like Arum, who has been involved in boxing longer than most fighters have been alive, to call out Tank's performance so directly says a lot. I thought Roach won the fight. It was a close fight, Arum told Sean Zell on March 28th. But then he took it a step further, questioning Tank's overall commitment to boxing. I think Davis has to start taking boxing seriously, it's not just a media kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know the kid, but he seems sort of ordinary. That last statement hit hard, calling a fighter like Tank ordinary.
Got anything else from Lamont?
Yo, last question. I just want to know, how has your life changed since the fight, man? Obviously we follow each other on social media. I seen your followers went up, all of the other stuff kind of going up. How has things changed for you since the fight has happened?
Bruh, literally overnight, it changed. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I got walking around with security. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I walk around with my peoples. Like, it's crazy.
The truth is, Tank didn't look like himself that night. He wasn't explosive, he wasn't dominant, and he definitely wasn't the same knockout artist that fans have come to expect. If he had been performing at the level people were used to, that illegal knee wouldn't have even mattered. He would have been so far ahead on the scorecards that one bad moment wouldn't have changed anything. But that wasn't the case. The fight was even. Roach gave as much as he got. And now, whether Tank wants to admit it or not, people are...
Rematch. Do you let me know now? Do you want to fight Tank again? He said he open to do a rematch. Do you want to fight Tank
100%. It's only a matter of time. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight again. It's just whenever the fight gonna happen.
So it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Okay. They say they want it in New York again. Do you want to fight again in the Barclays Center?
I wouldn't mind, but I'd love for it to be in DC.
Okay. Cool.
I love for it to...
The biggest issue now is that Tank doesn't seem eager to run it back. If he was confident in a rematch, he would have already announced it. Instead, all fans are getting are vague statements and delays. Meanwhile, Roach is pushing hard for another chance, and GervontaDavis is trying to jump into the mix before Tank even makes a move. If Roach does end up fighting Kassan first and Kassan wins, Tank's entire legacy takes a hit. Because then, no matter what, people will say Tank wasn't the one who ended Roach's momentum.
And in the end, lost that fight to Roach, in your opinion?
Yeah, in my opinion, it was a draw. He take a knee. And plus the corner go up and put it a towel in the face. That's a disqualification for sure. I'm talking about the rules, but it's not my business.
For years, Tank was seen as untouchable. Now, he looks vulnerable. And the worst part is, it's not just because of his performance in the fight, it's because of his actions after it. Boxing fans respect fighters who take on all challenges and don't hesitate to prove themselves. Right now, Tank isn't giving them that. He's giving them uncertainty. And in boxing, uncertainty is the...
What's in your mind when you heard the decision?
Nobody like a draw, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in the, I lost track in the rounds.
That performance from TankDavis has got people talking in ways that his camp won't like. Paulie Malignaggi, never one to hold back, just lit a fire under the entire conversation. He didn't just say Tank had a bad night. He basically called him mentally soft, stating that his whole career has been protected and that the people around him know it. That's not something you just brush off, especially coming from someone who's been in championship rematches and knows what mental toughness looks like.